very much. The Sanhedrin are the religious rulers that make up from the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the high priest. They all have a governing body called the Sanhedrin. And this upset the Sanhedrin, that is the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and the high priest very much. And so they said, we've got to do something about this guy. All of Israel is going to be following him. And if all of Israel follows his teachings, then Rome is going to take away our religious authority and give it to him and his disciples, and we're going to be nothing. So we can't have this. We've got to do something about this. About that time, Judas Iscariot, one of the disciples, the 12 disciples of Jesus, who had been following Jesus, we imagine, because of the fame and the money that he would be able to handle if Jesus were actually the king of Israel, hears from Jesus' own lips that he is going to die. Mary comes and anoints Jesus' feet with the perfume worth almost a year's wages, and Judas Iscariot complains and says, "Why in the world? She wasted this. This could have been sold and the money given to the poor people." He didn't care about the poor people. He cared only about the purse that he held and how much money he was going to be able to siphon from that. But Jesus said, "Leave her alone. She's done this to prepare for my burial." Judas Iscariot thinks, "Man, I'm not going to get any money out of this guy if he dies. I might as well get some money out of him while he's still alive." So he goes to the Sanhedrin. And he says, "You want Jesus?" "Yes, we do. What do you got for us?" "Maybe I know when he's going to be alone. Maybe I know when he is not going to have a lot of people around him. All the people love him." What do you want? "Well, what's he worth for you?" "Well, a male slave is worth 30 pieces of silver. How about we pay twice of the slave?" Judas Iscariot says, "I guess that's about all I'm going to get. Okay, give me 30 pieces of silver. And when the time comes, I'll give them to you." And they made the agreement. Well, Jesus told his disciples to go ahead and prepare a room where they were going to celebrate the Passover feast. And while they were in the upper room, Jesus was breaking bread, and he told the disciples, "One of you is going to betray me." And the disciples all said, "What? One of us? Who? It's not me, is it? It's not me, is it?" Every one of them said, "It's not me, is it?" Including Judas Iscariot. "What? It's not me, is it?" And Jesus said, "It's the guy that I dipped bread in the sop and then handed to him, and he eats it." And then Jesus took the bread, dipped it in the sop, and handed it to Judas Iscariot. And Judas Iscariot took the sop, the bread, and ate it. And none of the disciples realized that Judas Iscariot was the bad guy. He was such an amazing hypocrite. He was such an amazing hypocrite. He lived a beautiful life in front of everyone. He talked the talk. He wasn't a doubter like Thomas. He didn't always jump to conclusions like Peter did. He was responsible with the money, everyone thought. They assumed that when they had a collection that he would go out and give to the poor. I mean, he had an amazing reputation. He had faked out everybody. So even when Jesus handed the sop and he took it and ate it, none of the disciples thought it was Judas Iscariot. As a matter of fact, he got up and he left and went out of the room. And you know what the Bible says? When he left the room to go and to betray Jesus, because he knew after they finished there, they were going to go to the Garden of Gethsemane and pray. He says, "This is my chance. Jesus is going to be alone with the disciples. Nobody else is going to be around. It's going to be nighttime." So he left to go out and tell the guards, "Come and arrest him." Do you know what the other disciples thought? "There goes Judas." The Bible actually says this. There goes Judas. He must be going to give something to the poor. He must be going to go out and do some kind of generous contribution to those who are in need at this time of night. I mean, that's the reputation he had. That's how amazing a hypocrite he was. Only God saw his heart. And Jesus knew
that he was about to be betrayed.